All right, hi everyone. My name is James. I am a tech consultant here at Central Park Library, and today I'm going to be showing you guys Brainfuse. Brainfuse is Help Now. So Brainfuse Help Now is a great program. It's a great place for you to get live tutoring, one-on-one help, and just studying resources. And so today's program is going to be around 35 minutes. If you have any questions, please use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. And after a period of time or so, we'll go ahead and answer any questions you guys have. If we run out of time and you have more questions, please come to the tech center during our open hours. So the tech center is open whenever the library is, and we can get you one-on-one help. Also, this program is going to be recorded, so if there's something you missed, we're gonna release the recording on our YouTube channel. You can go ahead and watch that, play it back, and see what you missed. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and then we can get started. Okay, so first of all, how to get to Brainfuse Help Now. So I'm on a browser and there's two ways that I would get to Brainfuse. The first one is to go through our library website, sclibrary.org. So I'm going to bring my mouse over to Books and More. And once this menu comes down, I'm going to go under research tools and I'm going to click on A to Z e-resources. So I'm going to go ahead and come over to B, bring that menu down, and I'm going to click on Brainfuse Help Now. So here we are on Brainfuse's Help Now's main menu. So if you are going to access Help Now from home, the first screen you're going to see will be a little different from this one. All it's going to do is ask you what library you're part of, and then they'll ask for your library number, your barcode on the back of your card. And once you've done that, you'll get to the same screen that we're on right now. So you see we have three different categories. We have expert help. I'm moving my mouse around this whole category. We got study, and then we have collaborate. So these are the main topics we're going to go over today. And if you come to the top of the screen where I'm moving my mouse under, you also see that the categories are up here as well. So if I mouse over expert help, it's going to show us all the same options that we see on the main screen here. So that's another way of navigating to any of these options. And we're just going to go ahead and get started with live tutoring. So live tutoring is one of the main features for Help Now. So what Live Help does is that it will connect you to a chat room with a tutor. So you're getting as the feature says live help with a lot of different subjects that are available for you. So first we're going to select the grade. So we can see that we have all our primary school grades, we have college. If you need assistance with your FAFSA, you can get a tutor for that. And there's also a tutor for languages. So I'm go ahead and I'm going to click on 10th grade because I'm feeling like I want to learn more about, say, algebra 2. So if I were to click second grade, for example, it's going to show me subjects that are respective to that grade. So you see that for second grade, we only have math and reading. If I come up to third grade, we have some more subjects available for us. So I'm gonna go back to 10th grade. Oh, and forgot to mention, to access the menu, you want to move your mouse over it and just left click. And then you can left click again on whatever grade you want. And this same goes for the subject. So I'm going to click on Algebra 2. And once I press get left help, I'm going to press it right now. It's going to bring us to what I call, or what it's called, the whiteboard. And on the right here, this is our chat section where we can chat with the tutor and ask them questions as we need to. And here in the whiteboard, we can draw. We can write out the like math problems we have. and ask for help on them from the tutor. And the whiteboard has, a lot of other nice options that I won't go over all of them, but I'll go over some of them. You can get formulas, you can graph, you can make shapes, and as you see, a tutor has connected with us, and they said hello to me. They're asking how they can help us, but unfortunately, we're only using this feature right now as an example, so I'm gonna have to just say bye to them and close out of this. So that's Live Help. It's it's a really great feature for live tutoring. And so after each time you do Live Help, the Brainfuse is going to ask you for how you feel about the session. So I'll say I was satisfied with your tutoring, and it's going to ask us some questions. You can fill them out if you want to, but I'm not going to right now, so I'm just going to press submit. And then I'm going to click here, where it says click here, and we're going to go back to the home page. So the next feature I'm going to go over is Writing Lab. And when I click on Writing Lab, it's going to ask me to log in, because what Writing Lab does is it's going to ask you for like a paper or an essay, anything of that sort, and you'll get a critique on it. You get critique suggestions from a tutor, and they'll help you out with polishing your paper. So if you don't have an account already, you're going to come down to the bottom here. I'm moving my mouse around it. It's sign up. I'm going to left click on it. And so it's going to ask you to make a username, a password, and then you're going to want to supply a password hint. But I already have an account, so I'm just going to go ahead and sign in. So we're signed in. I'm going to go back to Writing Lab. And now we can see that this is the screen for Writing Lab. So it's going to ask us you can attach a file. You can even you can use the whiteboard to write something, draw something, and you can use that as well for the Writing Lab. So if I were to select the file, I click Browse File and choose whatever file I needed to add. I mean, by file, I mean the essay or the paper that you're trying to have critiqued. I'd add my comments to let the tutor know what I'm trying to look for, what I need help with. I'd press submit, and then we'll get a message back within 1 or 2 days. And so if we look at number 4 here, receive your results, it's saying check your message center. So the way to get to the message center is if we come to the top right of the page, see where it says my username, schelper1. If I mouse over that, on the third option, my message center, if I were to add a paper to the Writing Lab and I got a message back, this is where you're going to find that message. You will find the message in your message center. So that's the Writing Lab. I'm going to go back to the top left here. I'm going to click on home to get to the home page. And we're going to look at Skill Surfer. So Skill Surfer offers resources and lessons on a ton of different subjects. So you have elementary school subjects. You have math, reading, writing. You have high school subjects. If you want to learn how to use some Microsoft Office applications like Word, Excel, or PowerPoint, you can also get lessons here. And we have adult learner resources as well, English learning. And let's say I wanted to learn about middle school mathematics. So if I come over to middle school, I'm going to left click on it. It brings down the whole menu. I'm going to click on the subject I want. So grade 6 mathematics. And if you notice to the right of mathematics, you'll see CA. So that's just specifying that this curriculum is specified for the California curriculum. So if we were to use Help Now in a different state, you would also see the lessons here would be tailored towards that state's curriculum. So moving on, I'm going to click on mathematics, and here it's going to show us a bunch of lessons that are tailored towards grade 6 mathematics. So let's say I wanted to learn about reciprocals. I'm going to click on the lesson I want, and it's going to show us a, it's going to show us the lessons. It's going to have practice problems for us. And then once we've done the practice questions for studying, it will also have the answers for those practice questions. So I'm going to scroll back up. And if I wanted to move to the next section, because I'm done with the subject, I can go on and click on the left side here under divide fractions. Oh, so you can go in between the lessons in this subject by going through the menu on the left side here. So if I click on divide fractions, it's going to bring us to the next lesson. And also at the top here, something I forgot to mention is if you look at this big blue bar, we have send question and get live help. So send question, if I click on that, it's going to allow us to send a question to a tutor and then they'll respond within a day or two. So I select my grade, doing sixth grade mathematics. I'd enter in my question. I can attach a helpful file if I wanted to help the tutor out with what I need, and then I'd press submit question. So this is a little inconspicuous. It's not blue or anything. It's just submit question. But that's the button for what you press when you send your message. And then if I would click on get live help, it's actually going to connect us to a whiteboard room right away. And then a tutor would connect with us, but I don't want to waste their time. So I'm just going to go ahead and click out of this whiteboard now. Of course, it brings us back to the survey. I'm going to go ahead and just get past it. And then we can get back to skill server. So that's actually all I really wanted to cover about skill server. This is a great tool that kids can use from all the way from lower elementary school all the way up to college and past. And yeah, that's skill surfer. So I'm going to come back to the top left of the screen. I'm going to click on home. We're going to get to the home page. And the next topic we have is send question. So send question is what we just went over. This is just its own page. You select the grade, your subject, you enter in your question, and then you can submit the question, and then you'll get your response within a day or two. So coming back to home, we have the language lab. So language lab is, you can get live tutoring for any of these languages that they have listed under this menu. So we have Cantonese, English, French, Mandarin, Spanish, Tagalog, and Vietnamese. So Help Now has live tutors available to help you with any of these languages. And you can, if you just wanted to study vocabulary, you can come down to Vocabulary Builder and we press Start Now. So we have some other options for learning languages here. So let's say I wanted to learn French. And when I click on French, we have different difficulty levels. Well, when I say difficulty, I mean like how good you are at the language already, or not already, but what your current skill level is. And then you have subjects within that skill level. So if I click on A1A, you have some very basic, you have terms, you have fruits, colors, numbers, what time is it? So if I wanted to study numbers, for example, I'm going to click on numbers, and it's gonna bring us to a study game. So right now it's showing us one of the numbers. You guys might not have heard it. I don't think you guys did, but when this opened up, it pronounced 6 for us in French. And if I were to press repeat pronunciation, I heard it. I know you guys don't hear it, but it definitely plays the sound. And so this is a little confusing because 6 in English is spelled the same way in French. But if I click next word, here we go. It's going to show us the French spelling for the number 20. So you can go through and through. It's going to show you different numbers. It will tell you the pronunciation. And if you wanted a different way of studying, we can come to the top here where it says mode. So right now we're on the study mode. Now I'm going to click on the flashcard mode. I'm going to click start game, and it's going to show us a flashcard. So to show the other side of the flashcard, I'm assuming it's going to ask us, or it wants us to know what the French spelling is. So if I click space, it's going to show us the French spelling, and also it's also playing the pronunciation. And so 5, if I press space, is going to show us the French spelling for 5, and then pronounce it for us. So I'm done now with those flashcards. I'm going to go ahead and press escape to get out of the flashcards. And then let's say we're feeling a little more confident, but not too confident yet. So we're going to go ahead and to some multiple choice. So it's showing us 4 options. It's asking us to choose which option we think is the correct number. So 10, that's 10 in French. So if I click 10, it's going to say that my answer is correct. And say the next one, I'm not so sure. I'm going to guess 15, but no, that was wrong. So it's going to tell us that I was incorrect, and it's going to highlight the correct answer. So you saw that 12 was bouncing up and down because that was what the actual answer was. Let's say we've done, oh, let's say we've done quite a bit of that already, and we're ready to move on to an actual test. So I'm going to go up to the mode and click on the test mode. So test, definitely more difficult. It's going to ask us to spell it out. So if I were to spell out 10 in French, say if I press next word, it's going to tell me that I was correct. And if I were to put in 17, because I don't know what the French spelling for 17 is, I press next word, it'll say false, I was wrong, and it will show us the actual spelling. So that's the test mode. And let's say I'm done with numbers, I want to move on. If I come to the left side of the screen here, we have the different options like we saw before. So it's just without the pictures, but it's the same thing. So if I click on colors here, it's going to show us the colors. And if I wanted to switch between difficulty levels, if I click on the drop down menu right here on the top left where it says French A1A, we can switch between the levels. So if I click on French B1A, it's going to show us the subjects for this specific level. So that's word layer, awesome for learning new languages. I'm going to go back to the home page. So to do that, on the top hand side of the top of the screen, home, I'm going to click that. It's bringing us back to the home page. So that was Language Lab. And so featured service, I'm just going to touch on this briefly. Help Now has live chess tutoring and online resources for you to study, learn how to play chess, get better at it. And they also provide live FAFSA help. If you have a problem with filling out your FAFSA, this definitely would have been very helpful for me when I was filling out my FAFSA. So this is a great resource to have. I'm gonna go back to the home page. And so that's expert help. And then once again, if for some reason you don't like navigating in the options and expert help on the main screen here, you can come up to the top. There's the drop down menu, and you can navigate from there. So next one, these are all features mainly used for studying. So the Leap Learning Platform, we have practice tests for different exams. So we have ACTs, you have college readiness exams, you have GEDs, and you also have some practice SATs for you. So of course, ACTs, SATs, all very useful for your college resume when you're applying. So if I wanted to take a practice ACT math test, I would go ahead and click on it. And it's going to let us know what we're expected to do. I'm going to click begin test, and it's going to bring us to the first question. Now it would ask us to do these questions. I'm going to click a random answer. I'm going to do some more random answers. And let's say, I'm done with the test. I don't really want to do anymore, but I do want to see the results of the questions that I've already answered. So if I click on where it says question 3 of 60, because we are on question 3 right now and there's 60 total questions. If we click on it, it's going to show us a menu of all the questions. I'm going to go to question 60, the very last question, and click done on the bottom right of the screen. So once I click done, it's going to tell us that we can view our test results and a learning plan for what we need to touch up on. So, oh, and if for some reason, if it doesn't come up for you, another way to get to your practice test or the test results that you just got, if you come back up to the top right of the screen to where your account is, so just like how we got to Message Center before, if we click on My Tests, it's going to show us the test that we've taken. So I've already did a little bit of a English practice test, so that's why that's showing there. That's from yesterday. But today we went a little bit over the math one, so I'm going to click on that. And here we'll see that, of course, it's going to show me that I got it all wrong. I didn't guess any of them right. I also didn't fill out any of them, but if we did fill them out, it would show us what's correct with the green check mark, and it's showing us, of course, with the red X to show us where we got wrong. So, and below that, it's going to show us all the skills that we really need to go over if we want to be able to ace the ACT here. It's showing us quite a bit because, I did not solve any of the questions correctly. And from here, you could, if you want, you can click get live help and you get live help for this specific topic, and that's great. So this is a great tool for studying and practicing your upper level exams, before when you're getting ready for college. And next up, we're gonna go to Flashbulb. So
Hey, sorry, James, sorry to interrupt. Before we do that, I did see a couple questions have come in, so I thought maybe we could take a second and answer those before we keep going on. Is that okay?
Oh yeah, of course, of course.
Okay. So the first one that I see, they're talking about live help. They're asking if live help and writing lab actually, if there are AI programs or are you getting help from a real person when you use those services?
So that's the great thing about help now. Well, it's great to you, but I think it's great. So Live Help and Writing Lab, you will get critiques, you'll get help from a real person. So when you're in that chat room and the whiteboard, there will be a real person chatting with you as you go over, this is stuff you need to study or learn. And Writing Lab, you will get critiques and suggestions over your papers, your essays from a real person.
Perfect. Thank you, James. And then the second one I can tackle there. Someone asked, will you email us the recording video and some links for Brainfuse? And the answer is yes. So the video is going to be posted on our YouTube channel. And this is Paul, by the way, assisting James tonight. I'm going to be emailing that link out to everyone who signed up for the class. And I can also include a link to the Brainfuse site. So yes, absolutely. You will get that. All right. Carry on, James. Sorry about that.
No problem, Paul. Thank you. All right, next on our list is Flashbulb. So instead of going to the home page, as I mentioned before, if I come to the top to where it says study, I move my mouse over it, it's going to bring down these options, and we want to go to Flashbulb. So I'm going to click on Flashbulb. And Flashbulb is a great studying tool. So you have the main tool, the main game you have with these sets are flashcards. So if I click on math, it's going to show us a bunch of flashcard sets for specifically math. So if you've noticed that when I scroll down that these flashcard sets below don't have this yellow check mark. So these yellow check mark are verified flashcard sets from Brainfuse. So you know that they will generally be very helpful for you if you're trying to study that subject. And also, if you come to the right side here, cards, and show how many terms are in this set. And if you come to the right here, we have what we call stars. So stars are when a user really likes the flashcard, so they give it a star, and you can see how many flashcards, how many stars these flashcard sets have. So if I wanted to go ahead and study terms used in advanced statistics, So I click on that, and we're going to have a bunch of games that we can play to help us study these terms. So the first term is binomial experience as experiment. Um, let's say yada yada, I think it's this. And if I click on it, it's going to show us what the term means. And if I got it right, I'll click correct card. And if I get it wrong, I'll click incorrect card. So by the end, once we've gone through all of these, we can go through all the correct cards we've gotten, and we can see everything we got wrong, everything we got right. So that's just flashcards. So if we were to say crosswords, it's going to show us all the terms, or some of the terms, but in the format of a crossword. So you'd fill it out, it'll show that if you got it right or not. When you fill out the answer, and it'll tell you if you got it right or not. And so that's flash crossword, and then there's a bunch of other games, based on like how you would like to study these terms. There's lots of different options for, a lot of different preferences, so that's great. Yeah, of course, you also have the test for a little more of a stringent option for studying, and that's and then you can also create your own flashbulb set. So if I come to the top, it says create. If I click there, it's going, and I come to the right side where it says create new flashbulb. If I click on that, it's going to let us fill in all the data we want for our very personal flashcard set. So that's flashbulb. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the home screen. And the next one for study, I'm also just going to briefly touch on this, is e-parachute. If you're not too sure what career or college major you're going to be interested in once you get to that point, or your children or anyone they can do an e-parachute little quiz here to answer some questions, and then at the end, Brainfuse would recommend you fields and interests that you might like, that you might want to do work in the future. So collaborate. The first thing we're going to go over for collaborate is the meet feature. So meetings, the meet feature lets you do virtual meetings with whoever you invite. And so it will bring you all to a whiteboard. You can all draw on and you can all chat to each other. And you can just it's a online studying session. So you invite participants by entering in their email addresses. You can specify time and date, how long you want the meeting to be. And if you want to put a description for when Brainfuse will send out the invitations, you'll see the description of the meeting. You press send, and then it's going to send the invitation to everyone or everyone's email addresses that you put in. So that's me. And then Brainwave actually lets you record your sessions in a whiteboard for self-study, or say you want to help someone else study, so you can send them a recording. So what I mean by that is if I click on create a brainwave here on the right side, I'm going to click begin recording, and it's going to bring us to our whiteboard. So if I were to draw and do some questions, math, let's say that's what I'm studying, I'll solve it, and then I can show like step by step, send this to my friend, like this is how you do it. I can type in the chat, and if that's another way to say what you're doing. And then I'm gonna stop the recording because I'm done with that. I can put a description, and then on the top right here, this is where we can send, or we can send it if we want, or if we don't feel like sending yet, we can just press save. I don't really feel like sending this whiteboard to anyone right now, or this brainwave, excuse me. So I'm just gonna press save. So if I come back to my brainwaves. I'm gonna refresh the page. So we'll see that the the recording I just made, the brainwave I just made, is right here in my brainwaves. So, and then from here, I can edit description, I can replay the recording, or I can send it, and if I don't want it, I can just delete it. So if I just press delete, that brainwave is gone. If I press the send button, it's going to ask me who I want to send it to, so I'll enter in an email address, and once I press send brainwave, it's going to send that recording. So that's pretty much everything that I wanted to go over for Brainfuse's help now. This is once again just an amazing study tool that I wish I knew about. And when I was doing my primary school and when I was in college, it would have been a great help for for studying and for, of course, the main feature, live tutoring, though that one-on-one help, which is just sometimes just way so much better than trying to study something ourselves because we might need a second perspective. Okay, so oh,
All right, so we have a few questions that came in. So we're gonna get started with those. So the first question I have is the tutoring available 24/7? So I have the answer for that, James, if you're not sure.
okay, yeah, I would
So
appreciate that.
the answer is it actually varies by subject. So James, if you go to the live tutoring button, we can see if you select a grade and a subject and then press the check tutor availability, it's actually going to tell you how often or at what times the tutor is available. So if you choose something like fourth grade math, you can see yes, 24/7. But say you wanted to learn a language and you want to learn Cantonese maybe, and I checked this one to make sure it wasn't 24/7. You can see that this one's a little more limited, 1 p.m. to 1 a.m., which is still fantastic availability, but not everything is going to have exactly 24/7. And you might find as well, I haven't encountered this personally, but it's possible that if a lot of people are using the tutoring at once, that you might be put in a kind of a queue to wait for the next available tutor. Um, but I don't think that that's the case a lot of the time, or if you're on a more popular subject, let's say. All right. Hopefully that answers the question to your satisfaction. The next question I have is, does Brainfuse offer any computer coding or programming help?
So yes, there is. If I come back to Skill Surfer and I go to computers and technology, we'll see at the bottom here, we have lessons on C++, Java, SQL, and then there's just a lesson on general AP computer science. So this is a great introduction for programming. It will get you a good part of the way towards becoming, a great programmer.
Perfect. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh no, no, that was it. That was it.
Okay. All right. The next question I see is, will we get the recording? And of course, the answer is yes. If you signed up for this class, you will get an email from me with a link to the YouTube channel where the recording will live. And I'm also going to send a link to this website. Next question. Someone is curious who the tutors are. Are they volunteer educators? Are they librarians? Who are these people?
So the tutors are not volunteers. They're hired on to the Brainfuse team. They are vigorously critiqued for you know their education, their knowledge, and not just that, but how good of a teacher they are. So these just aren't people who who've gone through the degrees, the work, and but they aren't great tutors. These are people who are good at teaching. They'll be great with helping you with whatever you need. And yeah, so those are who the tutors are. They're not just random people. These are people who are very very well equipped to help you out.
Excellent. All right. Next question. Is there a charge for tutoring on this site?
So when you are using Brainfuse with us, with Santa Cruz City Library, everything is free. You don't have to worry about paying anything for any of these services for help now. So yeah, I hope that answers the question. There is no charge for a tutor.
Yeah. The only thing that I'll add to that is this um, service is provided to us by California State Library. You can see their logo up at the top of the website, and they're only going to offer it for so long. We don't have an exact shutdown day, but it's not going to be around forever, unfortunately. So hopefully it lasts a while longer, but we want to make sure as many people know about it as possible before we can't offer it anymore. All right, the next question we have is the account for Brainfuse different than for the library?
So yes, when you make an account with Brainfuse, that account is specifically just for Brainfuse's services.
All right. And in case the person who asked that wasn't around at the very beginning of the class, the way that you log into this, so there are two stages of logging in. To access the site and all of the tools, you need to enter just your Santa Clara City Library card number. Um, but then there are certain tools, like James showed us, like the writing critiquing, where, like he said, you have to sign up for your own username and password. So it's a little of both. Okay, that is all the questions that I see. Um, so I think we're going to wrap it up there. I'll throw it back to you, James. And if we do see any more questions come in while James is just giving his closing remarks, then we will, of course, answer them. And as I was saying that, I saw another question come in. Someone is asking, can we use Brainfuse forever when we use our Santa Clara library card?
So as Paul mentioned earlier, we won't have this service forever. I hope we do have it for as long as we can, but once the California State Library stops providing the service to us, we won't have access anymore. But hopefully that isn't for a while longer. So take advantage while you can. If you need the service, I'm sure it will be a great help for you. And so that's the program, guys. Please check our library website for our other programs or other resources. If you want notices through your email about our next technology classes, please sign up for the email notices. So I'll go ahead and show you how to do that. If we go to SC Library, library.org, on the bottom right of the screen, we're going to get oh, well,
I
there
think
will
you
be,
closed it earlier. Yeah.
oh yeah, well, there will be a pop-up here, whereas you can enter in your email address, you click sign up, and then be signed up for the newsletter. And when you're on, when you're on your way out, please take a moment to fill out our feedback survey. All the feedback you guys give us will be amazing for us. We're gonna we use it to tailor our next classes. It will also help us improve how we do these classes, what you want to see, everything that pertains to that. And of course, as we mentioned earlier, this whole program, this whole webinar, it's being recorded. Once we're done with the class, we're going to release this recording on YouTube, and you'll be sent links through your email to that recording.
All right. I did see one last question come in, and someone is wondering, will we get notice when Brainfuse is no longer available? Yes. When we get a firm date from the California State Library that Brainfuse is going away, we will definitely send something out to all of our patrons so that they know how long they have left to use it. And honestly, I don't know if that's going to be, a year from now, 5 years from now, but it will sunset eventually. One last thing I wanted to add, James, if you don't mind putting your screen
Oh,
share
okay.
back up for a second. If you don't have time to answer our survey as you're leaving the class, there is one other way that you can provide us feedback on the website. So that's going to be under the Services tab. And then right under that, in Public Computers and Printing, there is the Technology Class Requests form. So if you go in there, it's going to be similar to the form you're about to see when you leave the webinar. Just whatever feedback you have for us, whatever classes you want to see in the future. We love to hear from you. Like James said, it helps us to offer better classes in the future. Okay, and that is all I've got.
All right. I think that's everything we wanted to go over. Thank you guys, everyone, for attending the webinar. Please come again for our next classes. And if you need more help with Brainfuse specifically, or just anything else tech related, please come to the Tech Center, of course, during our open hours, and we'll get you one-on-one help. All right. Thank you guys
Oh,
again.
and with that, actually, so if you're not aware, the library is expanding hours. We're going to be open a lot more starting next Monday, the 23rd. The exact schedule, and James, I'm going to ask you to
Yeah,
put up
yeah. I
your
was
screen share
bringing
one
it up.
one
Yeah,
last time, if you don't mind. Yeah, you can see there's a button on our website that's going to show you our new hours. This is starting next week. We'll be open into the evening on all weeknights. Finally, we've been hoping to do this for a long time, and it's finally here. Thank goodness. Our 2 branches are also open a lot better hours, and we are just so excited about that. So there you go. You can see them there, and if you want to check them again, just come to our library website. And I saw one more question come in. Someone's asking, can we send the survey link here in the meeting? And actually, once you leave the meeting, it's going to pop up automatically. So we don't even need to send you a link. You'll see it as soon as you close out of the webinar. Okay, and I believe that's everything. James, anything else that you wanted to add?
No, thank you. You got it all, Paul.
Great.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.